Anyone here a fan of Grace Randolph? Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to Why is Grace Randolph so polarizing? Yes, if you don't know who Grace Randolph is, she has a YouTube channel called Beyond the Trailer and stuff. She is a YouTuber slash journalist that does like movie reviews, movie news, and has like exclusive stuff that she gets from behind the scenes of Hollywood and all that. She's like the insider or Entertainment Tonight of YouTube, but she's just her. She doesn't really have like a crew or co-anchors. It's just Grace Randolph, and she is a relatively popular YouTuber. She is got almost 1 million subscribers, and the reason I'm not saying this video is why Grace Randolph is hated is because she has so much. She has a big following. There are people who genuinely love Beyond the Trailer. They like Grace Randolph and her opinions. So I'm calling her polarizing because if she was hated, she wouldn't have that many subscribers and people still watching her to this day. She still gets the views and still people like her. But many others don't like her. They really just don't like her personality. They don't like her takes. They don't like her false allegations and news and stuff. And I personally also am not a fan. I'm not here to attack her personally. I'm not here to call her names. I'm not here to just bash her and say her channel sucks. If you are a fan of Grace Randolph, that is okay. That's okay. You can be a fan of her. I'm not telling you you shouldn't be a fan of her. But I'm going to make a video explaining why I'm not a huge fan, why other people are not a big fan of her, and why she's so polarizing, why she's just not a beloved YouTuber, and why she is so divisive, and people just don't like her way of reporting, because she's just done a lot of things that is just wrong and just doesn't make a lot of sense, really. I'm going to just talk about a couple of things about me personally, why I'm not a fan of her. Like, I watched her back in, like, 2013, 2014, and I watched her occasionally. I wasn't, like, a fan, but I watched her occasionally because she had some, like, movie news and stuff, and I watched a lot of movie-related channels in, like, 2014 and stuff. So she seemed interesting, but she just had some odd takes. But everyone does. Everyone has hot takes. Everyone has opinions that people don't agree with you on. That's just the name of the game. But then she just had some she just said things that just contradicted herself. Like, she wanted movies to have female empowerment and stuff. But, like, some movies did have female empowerment, but she just didn't like them and just didn't have enough female empowerment. But then there's movies that had no female empowerment, but because she liked it, it was enough female empowerment, so it just made no sense. And you can tell she is one of those Disney people, very pro Disney, loves all the live action Disney remakes. I hate those fucking movies, but you know what? If you like them, fine. I cannot see why, but you guys can like them. That's all good. It's your human right to like those movies. But, like, just one random review she did. She did a review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And her criticisms were very weird. She, like, thought the women were sexualized, and, like, everyone knows, like, Tarantino has, like, a foot fetish, so she just didn't like how he had women's feet in the movie. She thought that was really weird. But then in her same review, she sexualizes Brad Pitt, says he looks good, and every scene he has a shirt off, she loves. And I'm like, what? Double standards here? Like, it's a director shouldn't sexualize women, but her, Grace Randolph, she could sexualize any actor she wants. And I'm like, it doesn't go both ways. If you want it one way, you can't have it the other. So I thought that was a little ridiculous. But there was also a big one where she would just give false news. The big one was Pedro Pascal. She did a whole news thing on her channel, and it got a lot of like heat because she said Pedro Pascal wanted to quit The Mandalorian because he wanted to do more scenes without his helmet, and they didn't want that, so they wanted him with his helmet more on, and he was threatening to quit The Mandalorian. And this was all reported by Grace Randolph. The only source was her. And Pedro Pascal went on an interview debunking that.
Said, apparently, that he wants to have your helmet off in future Mandalorian episodes. Is that true?
Oh.
That is not true, actually. It's a really wonderful way of telling the story. It's always been a very clear creed for the character.
Yeah, so a lot of people were really annoyed with her that she was just wrong in every stretch of the imagination, that like none of that was true. I don't know where she gets her sources, and there's been a lot of stories like that where she just says things and says, I have sources, and she doesn't report the sources, and she says she has these scoops within Hollywood and does these news outlets and these like hit pieces and just saying this actor's doing that or this person's quitting that, and none of it is true. And she does it for the clicks and, you know, starts a lot of beef and a lot of drama. And I'm just like, what are you doing? It's like, it's ridiculous. And I don't know, it's hard to trust her opinions. And I'm not saying she's not knowledgeable. She clearly is very knowledgeable and knows a lot of things in Hollywood and knows a lot of things about actors and filmmakers, but she is wrong like a lot of times when it comes to like news, just like reporting the news on filmmaking and film news and upcoming movies and actors and stuff. So it's a little strange. People go to, she's like a go-to for some people for movie news, where she has been very inaccurate many times. She also has like a weird hatred for like some people, like Henry Cavill, because he's like a big, buff, good-looking dude. I don't know. Also, she was wrong about Godzilla Minus One. She was like, oh, Godzilla Minus One was a bomb. Was it? Like, she is knowledgeable, but sometimes when she talks about numbers and box office numbers in certain countries, it's very different. Like, just because something is not a success in North America, it could be a success worldwide. And I feel like she just doesn't do the numbers properly. She doesn't crack the numbers properly. So she really needs to work on her mathematics a little bit. And the big one for me is just, it's an odd one as well, that she has like this like hatred for Jessica Chastain. It's just super weird. It's okay to not like an actor or an actress. Some people are just not a fan of certain actors and certain actresses. That's perfectly fine. There's a lot of actors and actresses I'm not a fan of. But like, it's like the way Grace talks about Jessica Chastain. It's like Jessica Chastain like did something to her, like bullied her in school, and she's even gone on the record saying she doesn't know Jessica Chastain personally, but she has just like this hatred for her, and it's just a little. Sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's just strange.
But that said, she did a good job as a villain. I think it lines up with her actual personality. She was the only one who couldn't sit properly on her stool and was just awkwardly leaning against it. Now, I'm sympathetic, of course, to the women's fashion versus men fashion. All of us women have to go through it. But it's not like this was a surprise that they were going to sit on stools. Conan had the exact same setup last year. I think she's extremely transparent. For instance, she campaigned immediately to get herself in Wonder Woman 2, as I predicted, because I know my Jessica Chastain. And also, I think she's extremely extreme. Like, for instance, Jessica Chastain has never met a bandwagon she didn't want to get on. And Kristen Stewart outgrossed her. I would take Kristen Stewart. I would take anyone as adult Beverly Marsh over Jessica Chastain. People don't like Jessica Chastain. Just take a look at her box office numbers. Something that people in Hollywood should consider when considering casting her. But I'm calling it now, okay? If they cast her on screen, you're going to get a mix of resting bitch face and Jessica Chastain trying to outact poor Billy Skarsgård. And then, I like Jessica Chastain. Well, I think she's an extremist. She's extremely political. And so people like to say, they're like, what did Jessica Chastain ever do to you? She didn't do anything to me. I've never met Jessica Chastain. I just have a problem, as I said, that I feel like she's never met a bandwagon she didn't want to jump on. And so, and also, I mean, I think it's funny that lately she's been doing some tweets, and you guys will tweet her or retweet it to me and be like, Grace Randolph was right.
I don't know if it's just me, but I find it's a little weird. It's okay to dislike certain filmmakers and certain actors and actresses, but like it's like almost personal with her. And even Jessica Chastain's done interviews kind of hinting at Grace that I don't know what her deal is, and I think we should have a little more respect and stuff. And I think Jessica Chastain is like doing a very good job of trying to be nice about Grace and not get people to attack her, but she's also kind of saying, could you leave me the fuck alone? Like, it's a little weird. It's almost like a little bit of jealousy in that way. I'm a fan of Jessica Chastain. I think she's a great actress, and she actually seems like a very lovely person. I could be dead wrong, but she seems very nice. But yeah, also, just wrapping this up, I think Grace also just has just this arrogance about her because she does have a big following and stuff, and she almost has like this opinion that her opinion is the right opinion when she's reviewing something. And just because she like names all the production designers, directors, she knows all this information, that means she's right, she's objectively right, and if you disagree, you're wrong. And it's interesting. Well, it's not interesting. It's annoying when I like people like send me some videos of her and it's just like, what? And for someone who loves art and loves originality, she just milks anything Disney makes. All the Disney Star Wars shows and Disney Marvel shows. She eats all that up because she does get early access to a lot of things. And she does do what a lot of film critics do. I'm not going to call them shills or anything, but they give positivity to things that don't deserve it, but they want positivity because they want early access and free merchandise and stuff. A lot of film critics are guilty of that. They will never admit that, but they will. They will give positive reviews. Not that they're like getting bought, but they want to be in the good graces of these studios because these studios are not going to give them early access to critics that are going to shit on them. So, just saying. And Grace Randolph is one of those kind of critics and stuff. There's a lot of things she's done, tons of things that I'm just not a fan of. She's a very polarizing YouTuber, but she's still going to make videos. She's still going to make a lot of money. She still has a huge diehard fan base. That's cool. I may not be a part of it, but you know what? Just listing other things that I'm just not a fan of, and a lot of people have been a little iffy on her. So let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts and opinions on Grace Randolph, and do you think she is an excellent YouTuber, an excellent movie enthusiast, knowledgeer? Do you think she reports with facts, or do you think she reports with just stupidity? Comment below, let me know, and as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and join the dark side.